Hey guys, it's your girl Snow White. I hope you're tuning into this video because you want to learn how to fight on open field properly. You know, I've been getting a lot of messages from a lot of my friends that are in other kingdoms saying that their alliance isn't doing very well and that they need help with learning how to fight, and they've asked me to make this tutorial. So here we go. I'm going to show you the do's and don'ts on open field fighting. Everything that you need to know in order to hopefully not fill up your hospitals and get a good return on your kills. Oh guys, and before we get into this video, I just want to make sure that you all understand I'm still looking for my apple. That's right. Last time I went searching for my apple, I found a piece of it on the ground. I'm pretty sure that was my apple, so somebody took a bite out of it. And now I've decided to go on a mission and ask people if they know what happened to Snow White's apple. Yeah, you better believe I'm gonna find this person, and when I do, I'm gonna take him down. Now you know I'm gonna say it. Before we start the video, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on those notifications, and let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the most popular way of fighting on open field when you have no flags or any alliance buildings around you. What do you want to do is create a murder ball like you see here. A group of people that are sitting really super tight on top of each other in order to stand their ground and defend the enemy from their attack. Now you do notice that there is one or two people that aren't exactly inside the murder ball. This is not what you want. You want everybody super tight, so there's no way that the enemy could pick off people that are hanging around outside the murder ball one by one. Now let's get into the objective of the murder ball is to obviously keep the amount of people inside of it safe as possible. So what you do want is to also fight in the formation of a ball. You don't want to start breaking up this formation and scattering all over the place. So you want to keep it super tight and always fight together. Now normally once the murder ball has gathered together, what you essentially want is to have a king buff activated so you're ready to charge. So right here we have Kingdom 2390 versus 2391 in KVK 2. They're about to engage, and you can see the formation of their murder balls. It's not exactly an ideal formation. People are very scattered and they're all over the place. What will happen, and you can see that, is that they're going to have a lot of people dying. And it's going to cause a lot of damage and hospitals being filled up because no one's actually sitting tight on top of each other and fighting in that formation. So you really want to essentially keep everybody together as much as possible. Now, I'm only fighting here with 4 marches. Unfortunately, I don't have 5 strong marches, so there's absolutely no point in bringing in a weaker march. It'll just probably end up getting picked off and probably die a lot quicker and filling up your hospitals for no reason and not getting a good return rate on your kills. So if you don't have strong marches and you only have 1 or 2, that's fine. Just continuously, refresh them and bring them back and continue fighting. It's a lot better than using weaker marches that are just going to end up dying. Now, a very key point here, and this is probably the most important thing that you need to know. So, as you can see, when my screen flashes red, I pull my troops back. So what you want to do is have the murder ball, and as soon as you are targeted and you see your screen is flashing red, just pull that march, and if you have multiple, you don't know which one it is or it's difficult for you to find out, that's fine. Just select all of your troops at once and pull them back. Hopefully, you're going to be able to also drag the enemy along with you and have your alliance members start attacking that enemy and picking them off. Most of the time, the enemy will disengage and target someone else if they're being dragged in. But sometimes you get lucky and they don't, or they have a lag on their system, or they're AFK or whatever reason, and that march continues to follow you into your alliance murder ball. And this is the essential part of a murder ball, and that's why you want to keep it tight. So you're able to continuously go up front, find a target, drag that target back into the murder ball so everybody can attack it together. Now, the best advice I can give lower power players is please do not tank. Do not go up front and start attacking the full marches of T5s or other stronger marches. You want to pick off the weak people. You want to pick off players that are already dragged into the murder ball, or have a lot lower health and less troops, so it's easier for you to finish them off. There's absolutely not going to be a good trade value if you're going to go full on with a T5 and you're only a low power player with not really any expertise to legendary commanders. So this battle right now is not a very good one in regards to formation. People are basically all over the place, scattered all over. I have been able to survive only because I keep dragging my troops back every time they're targeted, but you can see so many other players are dying off and returning home. Another great tip, honestly, if you have a great commander, he's all geared up, and you've got him expertise, and he's a tanky march as well. Still, if you are dragged in by the enemy, you are going to get swarmed and you will die. And you know what happens when you get swarmed? You get a lovely fate changer. So it really doesn't matter what you have, just avoid getting swarmed and pulled in at any cost. You need to control the battlefield. And that just requires you to be constantly on your marches, moving them around, making sure they're not being dragged in, and always pulling them back when your screen flashes red. Another key point is try to target weaker commanders. So if you see an Ethelfled on the field, or an epic commander like Sun Tzu or Pelagus or anybody else, you want to get these marches and kill them quickly. They're going to be a lot easier to get rid of than a Richard or an Alex on the field, or, if we're going into Season of Conquest commanders, you want to target the weakest commanders possible. So if you see a YSG usually on field, he's usually targeted first, followed by Ethelfled and other epic commanders. Another very important thing, especially when you're on open field, don't let your marches go under 50% health. One, you're not going to be making that much damage, so there's absolutely no point. You're basically probably giving more severe wounded than actually getting kills. And two, you're going to be an easier target for people because they will see that your health is lower, so they will target you quicker. As you can see, my marches here are way under 50%. They are actually almost borderline dead. The only reason I'm continuing to fight until they do die is just because I need to push back on the enemy until reinforcements come, but also I am about a 10-minute walk back home, so I rather have my marches just killed, and that way they can run home a lot quicker. You do have another option. Instead of fighting the enemy, try to find a barbarian, try to finish yourself off by killing a high-level barb, if you can, or if you have the time, in order to not fill up your hospital so much with severely wounded. And another key point is when you are going to attack marches, sometimes dragging is really difficult. There is lags, obviously, so it is hard to double-click on all your troops and drag them. What I do suggest is if it's not working and you can't actually target anybody because everybody's on top of each other, see if you can find their icon avatar, click on it, then click on the attack option and select your marches to attack. So as soon as you see you're under 50% or you're yellow, try to get your marches refreshed, send them home, and bring them back. Your goal obviously is to fight longer and have less severe wounded. So having your marches continuously fight at lower health is not going to help you achieve that objective. Now let's talk about positioning of your troops. Yes, you're going to be in the Murderball, but also you need to position them properly inside the Murderball. So let's say you're a lower power player and you don't have a lot of great commanders and you have maybe an Ethelfled or a Joan, which are easy targets. Remember I mentioned that people are going to target the epic and the Ethelfleds. So what you want to do is you don't want to be in the front line. You want to be somewhere in the middle to the back because you're basically a supporting role. So the AoE of Ethelfled or Joan of Arc are pretty decent, so you don't want to be up in the front offering those kind of debuffs. You want to stay further in the back and pick off, people that have been dragged into the Murderball. And if you do have a tankier march, then you can probably use them more up front in the front of the battles. But like I said, if you're a low power player, Try to stay somewhere within the middle to the back and then pick off all the stragglers. Now, even though I'm telling you all this and you can see some of the maneuvers that I'm making on screen, the best way for you to actually learn and do this correctly is to make practice with your alliance and your friends. So how do you do this? Well, you have two options. You can actually use Champions of Olympia, and that actually is a great place to learn how to escape from the enemy, also learn how to play together with your team, and to create a strategy together. Now, my other favorite place of practicing with your entire alliance is to do an ARC practice match. Now, this is great and definitely worth spending the gems to get your entire alliance to understand how to fight. It'll pay off at the end. So what you want to do is have all your alliance members that can participate and practice together. Create equal teams with power and strength on either sides. Hopefully you can have 30 members on each team and have a total of 60 that participate. And make use of the time during this ARC practice by making murder balls and defeating each other and learning how to drag back and forth. Now, when you do go into open field, ideally you want AoE damage commanders. You want to get multiple targets, especially if you're a lower power player. Ideally, you want to try to use any commander that has AoE damage. Now, you don't have to put them as primary, but you can definitely put them as secondary in order so they're not targeted as much. Now, when you do begin your murder ball formation and you have activated your king skill and you're about to engage in the enemy, ideally you prefer to have the enemy attack you first. This way, they'll start being scattered a little bit and you can probably pick off a couple of the people that are the first to charge. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope this video will help you, especially the lower power players, facing off those big T5s. You don't need to be the frontliners in order to get those kill points. You're just going to fill up your hospital. So just make sure that you're hiding inside the murder ball at all times. Stay behind. Whenever you see red, pull back, drag the enemy in, let the others swarm it, and most of the time the enemy will let go of you and target somebody else. So just play smart and not hard. Alright guys, well I gotta head out and find this mystery Snow White apple eater. I'ma find you whoever you are. Anyways, I hope to see you guys on my next vid, and hopefully I'll have some updates on who took my apple.